from 11:59 p.m. tonight, Victoria, all of Victoria, will go to stage 4 restrictions, and I'll take you through the details of those. I'm referring to the fact that this was a program designed to stop this wildly infectious virus seeding from return travellers into the Victorian community. That has clearly happened, and that is clearly a failure, and that is clearly the product of at least one error and perhaps multiple errors. Masks must be worn everywhere. There will be no visitors to anyone's home. Schools, higher education, hairdressing, beauty services, real estate auctions, indoor, outdoor, physical recreation, swimming pools, close. Public gatherings, private gatherings, weddings are not permitted. Funerals can involve no more than 10 people.
After the fatal flaws of the first hotel quarantine program, today a promise.
All Victorians can have confidence that the system that will be put in place will be the most rigorous in the nation.
Melbourne is reeling from Daniel Andrews' decision to plunge the state into a 5-day lockdown. The Premier says it's a circuit breaker, but many Victorians feel they're paying a hefty price for the incompetent management of hotel quarantine.
We can't wait a week hoping that we could avoid this, because if we wait the week, it may be too late. But I'm referring, I think, in more aggregate terms. It was supposed to contain the virus, it didn't, therefore something has gone wrong. And I'm basically waiting for this inquiry to provide me with some insights into that. That there are many lessons that have to be learned in relation to hotel quarantine, and we have learnt those lessons.
This morning he handed responsibility of the new program to his third minister in as many months. Hotel quarantine is on her shoulders now. Police Minister Lisa Neville touring one of 11 new Melbourne hotels to welcome international arrivals.
Yeah, the question is if they get it in hotel quarantine, for example.
Well, they're not. That's not going to happen, Mr. O'Brien.
An investigation is underway into potential transmission between hotel quarantine residents in Melbourne. 2 separate groups on the same floor of the Park Royal Hotel have tested positive.
At this stage, it's a very hypothetical question, and I don't believe it's going to happen.
That makes it a very different model to, for instance, what's being run in Sydney, but we believe it is the best system.
11 cases and counting now linked to the Holiday Inn.
8 of which are in the community.
To learn these lessons and make sure that these sort of mistakes, these sorts of failings, can never be repeated again.
Forced to defend the state system today.
We're operating this program under the highest, strictest of standards.
He snapped this photo today. A quarantine worker appears to not be wearing a mask.
There was no mask, and a nurse sitting in her little nurse's station again, not wearing a mask.
Very tight controls about who can come in and out of a hotel quarantine hotel.
No point did they ask for any ID or get me to scan in or QR codes. I was a bit disappointed.
We've all given so much. We've all done so much. We've built something precious, and we have to make difficult decisions and do difficult things in order to defend what we've built.
This is messing with our livelihood more than just a virus played in Melbourne.
If we could have a system of oversight that was, I think, the best in the country back then, as we do now, then of course we would put those steps in place. If I was to align many of the criticisms that have been levied with over a long period of time with what we do now, I'm very confident that we have a system that is worthy of being copied by others, and it is. If it was anything other than leading, and this is not about boasting, so this is just a fact.
Already been major delays this week in our contact tracing, and that authorities knew and approved the use of that nebuliser, which is thought to have sparked the Holiday Inn cluster.
But none of us have the ability to change history. We can only learn those lessons and make sure that the reforms and the changes that are essential are made.
Businesses are expected to lose millions of dollars in this weekend alone.
know this is not the news that Victorians want to hear today. I know it's not the place that we want it to be in. However, we can't go back. We can't change what occurred. We can only learn those painful, tragic lessons. I am confident that this short, sharp circuit breaker will be effective. We will be able to smother this. We will be able to prevent it getting away from us. I want to make it very clear to each and every member of the Victorian community that I am sorry for what has occurred here, and I want to issue an unreserved apology to all Victorians. I want to say to you, Madam Chair, that I await your final report, the conclusion of your work, so that we can understand better what has occurred, and so that I, as the Leader of the Government, can take the appropriate action to ensure that these sorts of errors never occur again.